Good morning, everybody. If you're watching this in the morning time, Saturday morning, that is, we have an update for you on the shooter in Maine. He has been found dead. Looks like it's a suicide. Let's check it out.
Now to some breaking news with the multi-state manhunt coming to an end for the man accused of killing 18 people and injuring more than a dozen others in Maine. CBS's Jerika Duncan is there with the late-breaking details, including the release of new information about the victims.
The search is over. 40-year-old Army reservist Robert Card was found dead tonight, 2 days after an intense manhunt across Maine. The day began with investigators looking for evidence near this boat launch in Lisbon, where police found Card's abandoned white Subaru. Authorities followed more than 530 leads from Wednesday night shooting at a bowling alley and bar in Lewiston. Today, officials announced that the 18 victims who were killed in the shootings range in age from 14 to 76, including Bill Young and his son Aaron, who was a high school freshman, and 4 members with connections to a local deaf community group. Tracy Walker's husband, Joey, was a manager at Shemenji's Bar and Grill. A witness told her he confronted the shooter.
They told us that my husband went into the kitchen and grabbed a butcher knife and went after him to save the patrons that were in his establishment.
That's a brave man right there. For him to go and grab a butcher knife and confront the shooter shows a lot of heart in this guy and tells what kind of person he is, to look after his people, to protect those around him and stop a threat. Unfortunately, he was unsuccessful, but a lot of people would not have done that. And I commend this guy, and I feel for his family. I commend this guy for doing that, and I feel for his family, I should say.
But Walker was shot in the stomach and later died.
You wouldn't want to go out any other way. That's exactly who he is as a man. He'd give you the shirt off his back.
He's a hero, and he died protecting, and that's who he is.
Hundreds of federal, state, and local law enforcement officers worked to process every inch of the 2 crime scenes for evidence and motive. CBS News has confirmed that a letter Card left at his home in Maine is being described as a possible suicide note addressed to his son.
When you heard about his background and that there were red flags regarding his behavior, his mental health.
He said he wanted to harm people. At that point, they should have went in and removed his weaponry.
Do you think the system failed you all?
Yes.
Yep. I think it's been failing the whole country.
Yeah.
It just keeps happening.
See, when he made those threats about shooting up the military base or whatever it was, is when they should have gone in and taken those weapons away from this guy, because they have yellow flag laws in Maine. It says 4 years before a gunman's deadly rampage, talking about Robert Card, a law was signed that aimed at preventing a mass shooting like the one Wednesday night that claimed 18 lives. The yellow flag law allows law enforcement to detain someone they suspect is mentally ill and poses a threat to themselves or others. The law differs from red flag laws in that it requires police to first get a medical practitioner to evaluate the person and find them to be a threat before police can petition a judge to order the person's firearms to be seized. So this is, different than red flag law, which right here says allows law enforcement or family members to petition courts to temporarily remove firearms from individuals if they pose a danger to themselves or others. Courts can issue emergency orders that remove the person's weapons for up to 3 weeks. Final orders, which include the opportunity for the person to defend themselves at a hearing, often lasts up to a year. So it is a little bit different. They have to get a medical practitioner first involved before they can determine if they they can have weapons or not. So I know red flag laws are a lot of people see it as unconstitutional. A lot of Second Amendment advocates see a red flag law as unconstitutional and they shouldn't be allowed. Yellow flag laws, from what it sounds like, is a little bit better in my opinion, just because they go in and investigate first before they just take your weapons away because somebody says you're a threat. They evaluate you first, so I think that's good. And it says here that he was found. Oh, I want to show you another video. I'm sorry. He was apparently targeting cornhole players.
It's exclusive video of the suspect, Robert Card, doing what he liked best, playing cornhole. It was recorded at a recent cornhole tournament.
There you go, Robbie.
The video was taken at the bar where 8 victims were killed last night. Card is believed to have targeted the cornhole players. On Facebook, a regular at the bar writes, "I cannot believe we all played cornhole with that guy all last winter. I am so glad none of us were at the tournament tonight." Card was obsessed with cornhole. Here he is at a fundraiser last year holding a beer. Here's what we know about the 40-year-old suspect. Card served.
He was playing cornhole, having a beer, having a good time. It seemed like a normal guy right there. It's crazy. That's why that person made that comment saying they can't believe that it played cornhole with him all last winter. Now he does this.
Served as an Army reservist for 20 years. He was just fired from his last job at a recycling center. Last summer, Card was hospitalized for 2 weeks at a mental facility after hearing voices and threatening to shoot up an Army Reserve base in Maine. Psychiatrist Keith Abloh says those voices seem very real to disturbed people like Robert Card.
It may not even be his plot. It's some recording, if you will, playing in his mind. And he may be driven to keep killing because he's told to do so.
Card's sister-in-law says he recently started wearing hearing aids and he thought he could overhear people at the bowling alley talking about him. The suspect's brother spoke to CNN.
He says the family has actually been texting him, reaching out to him, telling him.
That's crazy. That is crazy right there. Now, he was found, his body was found at the recycling center where he apparently got fired from. That's what, according to this article right here, this is crazy. It's a sad situation, and I want to talk about this real quick. These mass shootings, they're scary. They are scary because it could happen to you. It could happen to me. You may think it never will, and the chances are small. Yes, the chances of it happening to you are very small, but I frequent places like Walmart. I go to bars, not often. I've been to a bowling alley. I went in March for my mom's birthday. And to think that some nut job can come in there and just start shooting is actually very scary. And those places serve alcohol, and they're likely gun-free zones. And a lot of shootings happen at gun-free zones. They probably have, like if it's, over 51% of their sales, or whatever it is. But even in movie theaters now, they're putting no guns. No guns. You think? Come on. I've seen it at some movie theaters, but I never go without a firearm. I never go because you think a bad guy is going to care about what the laws are at that company, what rules they have there, or anywhere for that matter. And I don't sit in the center of the movie theater. I don't. Because if I sit right in the middle, that's likely where they're going to start shooting. I sit in the upper left corner, so I have an easy access to leave. I have easy access to the exit or behind the wall or something, and one of the, whatever. I can position myself to pull out my firearm and prepare myself and start shooting it back if I have to. There's a lot of benefits of sitting in the upper left corner or the upper right. I just prefer the left side for some reason. The way it looked, the screen's position, I don't know. But anyway, that's just something I think about when I go out places. When I go out to a restaurant, I sit I know where the exit is. I sit facing out, or I can see everything. If somebody it looks crazy, I can get under the table, I can run, I can go out back door, whatever it is. But these things you have to think about because it's a very real possibility. This year, when the shooting happened in Allen, Texas, I live maybe 25, 30 minutes away from Allen, Texas. And a friend of mine was actually, I think he went the week before. I think that Saturday before, or that Sunday before it happened, he went to get some shoes or whatever it was at the Allen outlets. And the shooting happened that 6 days later or whatever it was. crazy. And thankfully, law enforcement was there to neutralize the threat. And the thing I'm disappointed about in this situation is I wanted law enforcement to get this guy. I hate it when they kill themselves. I feel like justice was not served. Yes, you will never bring back those people that lost their lives here in this situation. But I wanted law enforcement to get this guy, and I feel like it. I don't know. That's the biggest to me. That's the biggest loss from this situation. After the people losing their lives, the biggest loss is law enforcement not getting him first. Unfortunately, but prepare yourself in every situation. Uh, Train with a firearm. You know, if you can get a concealed carry gun, gun that can easily conceal, get one. Even other things. If you can't carry that, know where the exits are. Talk to your spouse. Talk to your kids. Even if you're by yourself, just be aware of your surroundings. Look around. See how people are acting around you, and just pay attention to what's going on. Always position yourself in restaurants or wherever you're sitting, where you can see an exit, you can see out, and don't be oblivious to your surroundings. Just don't be oblivious to what's going on around you, what people are talking about, what they're doing, how crazy they may be acting at the moment. Or, I don't know. You know what people are going through. So just be mindful of those things. It doesn't mean you have to live in fear, because we don't want to do that. We don't want to live in fear. But you want to be prepared for anything that's going to happen. So when I went recently to a haunted house out in Waxahachie, it's called Screams. I don't know if you've heard of that. If you're not from Texas, if you're from Texas, it's kind of out in the country. And they have a bunch of haunted houses, and it's a Halloween theme event they have on the weekends. They have beer and shows they put on. It's pretty fun. So my wife and I went, and I couldn't bring my firearm with me. Well, I said, well, I hope they have high security there. And sure enough, they did. They had a lot of metal detectors, and my change was in my pocket. And the guy waved the wand over me about three different times, because something kept going off. So every time something went off, he would tell me, hey, that keeps going off. What's in your pocket? And I was okay with that. I was okay with the high level of security they had there. Not only did they have that, they had a security guards inside working the event, and they had police officers. And I believe the security was armed. So I felt really secure. I'm not saying nothing could go wrong, but there are a lot of people there to neutralize any kind of threat that may have been looming, or that could have happened there. So yeah, that's my take on this situation here. It's a sad situation, and I think something needs to be done. These gun laws, banning guns like the left wants to do, is not going to happen. It's not going to change anything, because criminals don't care. And this guy, I believe he legally bought this firearm. He was actually a firearms instructor, so he had training. But we need to do something about cracking down on criminals harsher punishments, law and order, and mental health. Something has to be done about the mental health issue in America. Otherwise, we're going to we can't let these people slip through the cracks. The ones that make threats months or weeks or years in advance, you can't let them slip through the cracks and nothing happened to them. As soon as you hear about this, you have to take control of the situation. Go evaluate this person. Why are they making these threats? Why are they saying these types of things? And then maybe we could get somewhere. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care. Stay safe out there.